welcome to INA UK and Europe edition. I'm Beverly Madrid reporting from Barcelona, Spain. We bring news report from United Kingdom and Europe. We have live reporters on standby ready to give the reports. UK reaches deal to boost carbon dioxide production after shortage. Volcano eruption in La Palma Island destroys hundreds of buildings and more than 150 hectares. EU to decide on COVID-19 boosters early October. And we go to our live reporters. First, we have Ariane Celestino. Hi, Ariane. What will you be reporting for us today?
Hi, Beverly. Today I'll be reporting about how smart technology used on home deliveries is proving a hit among UK shoppers. Back to you.
Thank you, Ariane. Now we move to EBC Switzerland, where John Kevin Glosser will be reporting about rise in vaccination in Switzerland after new COVID-19 passed requirement. For our sports news, we have our sports correspondent, Ryan Florentino. Hello, Ryan. What will you be reporting for us today?
Hi, Beverly. This week, UK boxer Anthony Joshua is hoping to defend his heavyweight titles against Oleksandr Usyk of Ukraine at London. Please stay tuned for that one. Beverly?
Thank you, Ryan. And for the view from our window episode, we have Netherlands, Royal City by the Sea, Den Haag or The Hague. Britain has signed a deal enabling it to start production of captured carbon dioxide for 3 weeks, Business Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng said Tuesday, after a shortage of the gas had sparked renewed food supply concerns. 2 UK fertilizer plants accounting for up to 60% of Britain's carbon dioxide supply, which is vital for the food industry, shut last week due to spiking natural gas costs. The government on Tuesday agreed to pay full operating cost of fertilizer giant CF Industries plant in Teesside, northeastern England, for 3 weeks, and this could cost tens of millions of pounds. The U.S. company last week shut Teesside and another facility in Cheshire in the northwest, blaming the spiking cost of natural gas used to make fertilizers, which in turn gives off carbon dioxide needed especially by the food, health, and nuclear industries. Environment Minister George Eustice told Sky News on Wednesday the move was temporary as the carbon dioxide market needs to adjust to elevate gas costs. The carbon dioxide shortage has triggered warnings of further pressure on food supplies, which are already hit by insufficient numbers of lorry drivers. The news comes amid a broader supply chain crunch that was sparked by COVID and exacerbated by Brexit. On Monday, the government had insisted that Britain would avoid a winter gas supply emergency as soaring gas prices also threatened domestic energy providers and household bills and the broader manufacturing sector. British Steel told AFP on Tuesday that it would maintain normal output but urged intervention both from the government and energy regulator Ofgem. In La Palma Island, one of the 7 islands composing the Canary Islands archipelago, a volcano named Cumbre Vieja erupted. According to the EU's Copernicus observation program, the molten lava has destroyed 320 buildings, including 154 hectares, as it crept down the slopes towards the western coast of the island. An explosion is then apprehended as it may generate toxic and acidic gas emissions once the lava reaches the sea. According to the government of the region, as of now, only 6,100 people have been evacuated, counting among them 400 tourists who were brought to the neighboring island, Tenerife. Fortunately, there are no casualties. But on the other hand, the huge damage to land and property is estimated to be around 400 million euros. Attempting to slow down the lava flow, some firefighters dug a channel to divert its direction towards a ravine using heavy machinery. It is capital to do this, knowing that there are two flows, one to the north and one to the south. The expert David Calvo stated that the 1,100 degrees Celsius lava emits 10,000 tons of sulfur dioxide per day. Although reaching a very flat area, it will get thick and rise to 15 meters of height, which at a constant pace and intensity may reach the sea by now and cause massive explosions due to the contrasted temperature with the water. The in-volcan experts believe that the eruption may last between 24 and 84 days. It also said that the inhalation of these acidic and toxic clouds from the potential explosions and the contact with volcanic ash must urgently avoided by the population, as this is dangerous for the respiratory tract, eyes, and skin. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said on Tuesday that the crisis will end when we've managed to rebuild everything the volcano has destroyed and will destroy. The European Medicines Agency said on Tuesday that a decision is set to be made early October whether to approve boosters of Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine for people aged 16 and above. The head of vaccine strategy, Marco Cavalleri, stated that the EMA is now evaluating Pfizer's application for the use of a third booster dose at least 6 months after the second dose in people aged 16 or older. According to him, the available data are showing that immunity against COVID-19 from initial vaccination wanes over time, and the protection from infection and symptomatic disease is decreasing in different parts of the world. Observers also see a rise in hospitalization rates among the elderly as the initial jabs wear off. The watchdog would consider by early October if any specific recommendation can be included in product information for the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines for such people, Cavalleri said. The EU has only approved 4 vaccines for its member states: Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna, AstraZeneca, and Johnson & Johnson. For children aged 12 and above, only Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna are approved. A decision on vaccine for children aged 5 to 11 is expected in the coming months. Time for a break. Please come back for more in our UK and Europe edition.
The Bundesliga will start up again. It would be great if we had full stands and to sing our battle songs. Oh, and more goals wouldn't hurt either. A surprise would be great too. The Bundesliga highlights. Kickoff.
In good shape. Do's and don'ts that will help you stay fit for the rest of your life. We answer the question, what do our bodies really need?
In good shape.
Welcome back to ENI UK and Europe edition. I'm Beverly Madrid, and we have interesting stories in the UK and Europe this week. Britain sees a rise in supermarket deliveries by robot. With us today with more details is Ariane Celestino. Hello, Ariane.
Hi, Beverly, and yes, the English town of Milton Keynes was once famous for its runabouts and statues of concrete cows. However, in this current period, it has another claim to fame, a trundling army of shopping delivery robots, according to France 24. The six-wheeled automated vehicles launched three years ago barely get a second glance as they ply the residential streets, some 49 miles north of London. Numbers have grown to 200 in Milton Keynes and nearby Northampton, which introduced the service in 2020, with plans for as many as 500 to be in action in 5 more places across the country. According to the robots operators, the squad-wide machines came into their own when Britain locked down last year as coronavirus hit the country. The company has signed a new agreement with long-standing partner, the Co-op Group's chain of supermarkets, to provide 300 new robots by the end of the year, and in front of one of the retail shops in Milton Keynes, which was the first to use the delivery machines in 2018. A dozen robots are ready and waiting. Now let's find out what's the technology behind it from Andrew Curtis, ahead of UK operation in Starship Technologies. Let's also hear what customers think about this new way of meeting their shopping needs.
Can you tell us where you work? Is it?
So the robot has what they call a bubble of awareness. So it's got different cameras and sensor suites. So if the robot's coming down a path, it can sense what's coming towards it. And if something steps in that bubble of awareness, the robot will assess what it needs to do. It will slow down or come to a safe stop and assess what it needs to do. It can go round you. It can pull to a side. It can basically, the robot will get out of your way and allow the human to go past. The robot can also see where it is to the nearest inch. So it uses computer vision while it's going around the pavement. And with that, it can see where it is, where it's located to the nearest inch.
Has there been any...
Yeah, because of my ill health, obviously I have problems getting out to the shops at times, so that's been a godsend to me, especially during COVID. And I did actually get COVID and was hospitalised, but to have that and knowing I've got no local shops, it's been a lifesaver. And
According to France 24, deliveries reach customers in less than an hour. The co-op said the use of the robots is environmentally friendly as well as convenient, with 70% of Starship's customers going without a trip in the car to a store or receiving a delivery from a fuel-powered vehicle. Under the delivery system, the robots remain the property of Starship, and orders are placed via an application they developed. As their numbers grow, the wheeled delivery drones have drawn criticism from unions who fear they will take jobs from people. The debate has made its way into US town halls, which are tasked with deciding limits on delivery journeys and rules around sharing the pavement. But UK Starship has obtained permission from the local authorities for each of its operating locations. That's all from me. Back to you, Beverly.
Yes, Ariane, in terms of the security of the items being delivered by the robot, how secure will it be when it comes to its locking mechanism?
That's a good question, especially for someone considering to use it. So according to Starship Technology, it's mechanically locked when it's going down the road. It's really hard to get the lock. The clever part is that it's only the phone of the user that has order that can unlock the robot, as it's going down and it uses cameras and sensors. Beverly?
And what about the possibility of a robot being picked up by just anyone? What kind of technology does it have to deal with this kind of situation?
The technology that comes with it has been well thought of. The company's head of UK operations said that if a robot were to be picked up, it's got a piercingly loud alarm on it. They're tracked 100% of the time as well. So the company knows where they are and what they're doing. If it does go off, an alarm goes off. the operator will get a notification saying something that has happened to this robot as well, and they can either send a field assistant down or contact the local authorities. So with that being said, there are a lot of ways to stop anyone from even thinking of doing something to it. Back to you, Beverly.
Thank you for bringing us this report, Ariane.
Thank you so much for having me today. Reporting from the United Kingdom, I am Ariane Celestino. We live in interesting times.
Switzerland is observing a rise in the number of vaccinations. John Kevin Glosser has the report for us. Let's watch.
The Swiss government has recently extended the obligation to present a COVID pass in the country. Now it is mandatory for people of 16 years old and above to present a valid COVID pass to be allowed to sit in a restaurant, a concert hall, a theater, or visit a museum and other indoor places. It is also the case for events with more than 1,000 people and political or religious gatherings of more than 50 people. The consequences for not respecting these new rules can be expensive. 100 Swiss francs for individuals and up to 10,000 Swiss francs for the organization or establishment responsible. To sum up, people must now either be fully vaccinated, recovered from the virus, or present a negative COVID test to take part in such social activities. However, rapid self-tests, which used to be free, are not anymore. That is why a lot of people still reluctant when it comes to the vaccine finally decided to get theirs. Authorities in the different cantons of Switzerland noticed a significant rise in the demand for vaccination, either with or without appointment, since the announcement of the new rule. For example, in the canton of Valais, demands for vaccination went from 314 to 1,275 in just one day, and the same trend was shown in the other regions of the country. To face this sudden rise in demand for the vaccine, vaccination centers had to adapt their schedule and make more doses available. Fortunately, this new restriction was anticipated, and places like the HUG in Geneva, for example, is now able to stay open even during the weekend, and the vaccination capacity has been raised to more than 20,000 doses per week compared to the 19,000 first doses administered during the whole month of August. This is John Kevin Glosser reporting from Geneva, Switzerland, and we live in interesting times.
Thank you, John Kevin, for that update. Time for a break. Please come back for more in our UK and Europe edition.
Bago magkaroon ng COVID-19 pandemic, maunlad ang industriya ng fashion design. Metropolitan cities hosted annual shows with designers and celebrities coming from all over the world. 2020 was supposed to be an exciting year for the industry. Ngunit nang magkaroon ng pandemya, ipinatupad ang lockdown sa iba't ibang lugar. Kanselado ang mga fashion shows at marami ring fashion shops ang nagsara. It has been almost 2 years since the outbreak of the COVID-19 crisis with no end in sight. So what will be the future of fashion design and fashion in general? In this episode, we'll find out more about the fashion design industry during the pandemic with our guests from the Fashion Designers Association of the Philippines, Mr. Gil Granado and Jonathan Pagatuan. All these in this episode of Open for Business.
Welcome back to ENI UK and Europe edition. I'm Beverly Madrid, and we have interesting stories in the UK and Europe this week. To give us our sports update, Ryan Florentino joins us. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Beverly. And yes, we have Anthony Joshua could be facing his toughest fight ever when he defends his heavyweight titles against Oleksandr Usyk In London on Saturday, the British boxer promoter Eddie Hearn has said, Joshua, 31, has height and reach advantages and will certainly be heavier at the Tottenham Stadium. But Eddie Hearn said he was nervous ahead of the fight. This is probably AJ's toughest ever fight, and I think he's going to prove to the world how good he is, Hearn told the PA News Agency. He's ready for this fight, but it's the ultimate challenge with someone that's very strong mentally. Usyk, 34 years old, a former undisputed cruiserweight world champion, won heavyweight gold at the London 2012 Olympics, while Joshua triumphed in the super heavyweight division. Despite the stiff test offered by Usyk, Hearn has been impressed by Joshua's confident demeanor in the build-up to the fight and is expected to draw a crowd of more than 60,000 people. He knows how tough this fight is, and he wants to prove to the world that he is the best heavyweight in the world, said the promoter. Joshua is taking on his WBO mandatory challenger after a potential upcoming fight with fellow Briton Tyson Fury. The British WBC champion fell through. Usyk was also warned that Fury, quote, beats any heavyweight. Joshua's career has been overseen by Hearn since he turned professional 8 years ago. And although the Usyk fight was understood to be the last on the existing contract, the two parties have come to a new agreement. We've never had one argument, one dispute in 8 brilliant years, said Eddie Hearn. From the UK, we cheer on our champion in hopes he can bring it back home. And that about ends our sports segment this week. Back to you, Beverly.
Thank you for that update, Ryan.
Thank you for having me. Reporting from the UK for ENI UK and Europe Edition, I'm Ryan Florentino, and we live in interesting times.
And to conclude our program for today, in today's view from our window, we go to The Hague in the Netherlands. With a population of over 500,000, The Hague, or in Dutch, Den Haag, is considered the third largest city in the Netherlands. It is located in the western coast of the country and is known as the home of the Dutch government. Apart from that, it is also recognized as the country's royal capital since the Noorden Palace, the official workplace of the royals since 2013, is situated there. This view is courtesy of Mark Magasso from our EBC Germany Bureau. Thank you for this view, Mark. That's it for today's program. Stay safe and keep positive as we bring you more stories next week from the United Kingdom and Europe. I'm Beverly Madrid from Barcelona, Spain. We live in interesting times.